apart from doing payments and some very niche smart contracting behavior, I don't think that the AI and crypto per se has a lot of overlap.
But why do you think it's so crucial that we implement blockchain as a fundamental piece that powers a lot of these AI agents?
Welcome back to AI Supercycle, our premier AI show, airing every single week, presented by Near. We cover the ins and outs of decentralized AI, privacy, and the future of this massive technology.
Near is the blockchain for AI and the execution of AI native apps. You can check out Near's latest AI product at near.ai. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rollup. I am here with Sandeep from Sentient, as well as Polygon. You guys see the shirt. You recognize the purple. We're here on an AI Supercycle. This is our flagship AI segment. It is powered by Near. They're doing great job in AI, as well as Sentient, who is backed by Near. And I believe this is a partnership that's incredible. Sentient's got some big news. The token is live. Or depending on when you're listening to this, it will be live very, very soon. And so Sandeep is here to talk to us about AGI, Sentient, and everything that is happening in the world of crypto and AI. Sandeep, you're a friend of the show. Welcome back, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Last time we saw each other, I think it was in Korea. We were on a panel together in KBW, and it was fun. It feels like a long time since KBW.
Yeah. I don't even, to be honest, like it got wiped out of my memory. Like it's so long back. Which month was that?
What it was, man. I think we were talking about L2s and interoperability, like composability with L2s. Ben from Espresso was on there.
Which month was that? Which month was that last year?
KBW? Was it October, November?
Oh my God. It's like only 2 months, 3 months only?
So much happens, man. You've been busy.
I almost feel like I'm thinking like, was it in April, May, June? Like, this is October?
Yeah. Oh KBW is back in October. What have you been up to since then? You've been busy. A lot's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, lots of stuff. You guys also must be watching on Polygon. We, just did 2 large acquisitions for around $250 million, and like going deeper and deeper and deeper into payments, and trying to create a new paradigm, like just like Ethereum and consensus added a lot of value back to Ethereum by building like a wallet and a lot of peripheral infrastructure on top. So same thing, like I'm converting Polygon Labs from like a pure play kind of kind of a cost center, which is simply building the protocol itself, because the protocol is by and large built. So now start doing more profitable activity, building middleware, providing services with which Polygon Labs can make money. And then it becomes less dependent on the protocol and the token treasury sales to fund itself. So, I think like we are going to see a lot of protocols and projects going to do that.
It's a more pragmatic way of thinking about things. It's like thinking about it more in terms of a business and a company with product market fit, rather than this new token powered like economic zone. I think it's a much more pragmatic way of doing things. Look, we spoke with Mark and John from the Polygon team. They're doing great work, and we were chatting with them about the acquisition of CoinMe and Sequence. So Sandeep, today I want to talk to you about Sentient. Because by the time this airs live, the Sentient token will be live. Tell us about Sentient, and tell us specifically about why the token is so important to Sentient's protocol and the mission that you guys have with AGI.
Yeah, so basically, the mission with Sentient has been to empower the open source AI development, because by now it is very clear with everyone that we don't really want these AI, super powerful AIs to lie in the hands of, or rest in the hands of, few individuals as well as individual organizations. So that has been the mission of Sentient, right? And then since then, Sentient has done a wide range of research, like Our reasoning framework called Roma became extremely viral for many weeks. It was the most visited and the most trending repository for open source reasoning across the globe, not in crypto, but like the overall AI space. And multiple research papers from fingerprinting to watermarking to various different things, to culminating in NeurIPS, I think in November, December, which is the largest AI conference, and where like I think we had multiple papers and conferences and everything on that. All of that research being, trying to consolidate into a framework which kind of using the token incentives with the people and the institutions building on it, creating a system where all of these individual parties can come together and contribute into the open source AI. So, I'll give more concrete example, right? Because
Sure.
it has taken us also a long time to reach a place where we can say, okay, even though we have built a lot of open source work, but how all of this gets combined into, let's say, one single product or one single offering which can actually create a synergistic, and self-sustainable and growing, kind of sub economy within this within the Sentient ecosystem. And so where we have like now landed with all of these research is essentially, obviously the whole world is becoming the agentic world, right?
Mhm.
And what we realize is that, like, the way you have seen Hugging Face, right?
Mhm.
Hugging Face is for models. The way Hugging Face became the go-to platform for models, where everybody, the bespoke engineers building the models, and then people can test those models and all that. And this is what Hugging Face has been, the place where you go and check out what is happening in the model space. And the world is moving from now models to agents, right? So
Mm.
essentially, where, because Sentient's reasoning framework allow agents to become more powerful, more accurate, less hallucination and all that. And so now we are building the Sentient arena, which is basically, you can almost think of as a Hugging Face for agents, because where we have done a lot of like hackathons, like werewolf based hackathons and all that, where people will bring in their agents,
Mhm.
and then there will be a lot of like AI based personas built over. For example, let's take a customer agent, customer bot agent, right? For banks, let's say. And then, a lot of people are building those agents. That is not of our interest, right? What we are interested is that how can you build an arena where all of these, kind of agents are battle tested against each other, against the automated AI bots with different personas. Let's say there is a persona of a end customer which is very angry, and persona of an end customer who's broke. And how do you deal with this? Let's say, the credit card calls. Like, how do your
Right.
voice agent work on that? And so all of these things improve the agents, and then
Mhm.
everybody can take home the learnings from there. They don't need to share their user data. They can anonymize the data. And then the overall Sentient economy, the way we are thinking right now, these models are still evolving, but probably, once the data is open source, probably this will be BSL kind of
Mhm.
business license data, where the large entities of the world, and we have like some of the biggest names in the banking, in the AI world, who wants
Mhm.
to want to do individual specific campaigns here, and they kind of like either buy or stake Sentient into this in order to get the rights to the data, or they pay some fixed amount to get the data, and all those things. All those business models are on the cards, but that
Mhm.
is what the Sentient research team has been doing. Like, my role at Sentient is more of a, high level, strategic level things, like how this economics make sense, and
Mhm.
this thing. While the Sentient has three full-time co-founders, professors, who
Mhm.
are doing all of this research and all that. And I think, like, I now feel at a very much, comfortable place, where I think this whole all of the Sentient research is culminating into one single product, which is connected to the token economy. And then, there is a virtuous cycle which can reward all the participants of this token economy.
Hibachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today.
Not your keys, not your coins. From the team that pioneered cold storage, Trezor has just released its new wallet. Guys, if you are still using hot wallets in 2025, 2026, you are missing the entire point. Secure your coins. Get a Trezor at trezor.io.
Halliday is unified crypto payments. Give your users more wherever they are. Go to halliday.xyz to never write a smart contract again. Absolutely. And this is something that you've had a lot of experience with at Polygon. And so you know how these token economies tend to work. You know how developing a product, getting product market fit, getting adoption for that ultimately is going to power the token. And the token, vice versa, is then going to power and fuel a lot of the adoption of the product itself. And it creates the virtuous flywheel, like you said. When you're thinking about the AI space, because we've seen a lot of like talent vacuums, right? We've seen AI suck a lot of talent out of crypto, and crypto take a lot of talent out of Silicon Valley and AI. How do you think these things ultimately go in terms of AI on chain? Like, why is it so important that a lot of these AI agents and personas, like you mentioned, the ones that are able to train banks and help with customer service, and these far reach into every facet of the economy? And you mentioned earlier, like watermarking some of these things that blockchains are able to help with. But why do you think it's so crucial that we implement blockchain as a fundamental piece that powers a lot of these AI agents?
See, I've always taken the other side of this. Like, I
Okay.
don't think that apart from like, you doing payments, which has nothing to do with AI, like payments
Right.
are payments, whether it's AI payments, human payments. Apart from doing payments and some very niche smart contracting behavior, I don't think that the AI and crypto per se has a lot of overlap, right?
Okay.
Crypto, you have to see crypto as a horizontal, which is financial rails, your trustless financial rails. And you have to also see, like right now, AI is a sector, right? Eventually, AI will not be a sector. It's the same. The example is cloud computing, right? Do you say that, cloud computing is taking away resources from, like if I convert you as like it's taking from like VMware or virtualization or some other like server technology. It's a server technology now. Healthcare, transportation, finance, everybody uses cloud.
Right.
Same
Right.
thing is going to happen with, like right now, that is happening with crypto. And the cryptos, this thing is, crypto have major implementations and applications in the financial sector only. And this is what I'm seeing at Polygon, for example. The major segment has become the fintechs and the banks and these large institutions using crypto for payments and their other financial needs, right? Because in finance you need custom business logic and all that. But same way, I feel that AI will be one more horizontal, which will use crypto for payment rails, for
Mhm.
like creating some sort of these economies where people can stake, let's say people can stake Cent and get access to like a licensed data and things like that, right? So but it is going to be one horizontal which is used across the industries. I think the same is going to happen with AI also. So these boundaries between crypto people becoming AI people or AI people becoming crypto people will be blurred.
Right.
And at the end it will be a business build. Like Polymarket is an example, right? Polymarket doesn't say that we are a blockchain based prediction market. Polymarket is a prediction market. Kalshi is a prediction market, right?
Right.
And underneath rails don't matter, underneath technology gets commoditized. Same
Yeah.
is going to happen with AI.
Yeah, and there is strong overlap in the ethos, right? Because despite the infrastructure and the technology underneath, the mission of Sentient is that AGI is open source and it doesn't fall into the hands of one single entity that's able to control public perception.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, how are you guys affecting this? What is it that Sentient is able to do, and what do you see out there as the biggest threat? Is there a particular company, entity, person, or concept idea that is misunderstood? What is the single biggest threat to open source AI right now, and how do you prevent that?
Yeah, see, the single biggest threat, and which has remained the same, is these some of these models becoming ultra powerful. And then that risk is still there, right? Like everybody says that is like, I say it as, Elon Musk says 80/20, I say 99 1%. 99% AI is going to be benevolent only, in
Mm.
the sense that AI will not take over human race and will have brain of its own, and they will start ruling over human beings. No, but 99% AI is going to be an extremely powerful tool which businesses and countries will use to propel their strategic advantages. And the goal for Sentient and anybody else who is building in open source AI is that this access to this technology should be available for everyone, all institutions, all individuals, all sovereign countries, right? So that there is a balance of power. And that is the Sentient mission. Like, so, it's not like Sentient is only going to do this. Like, there are multiple institutes which are doing this open source. We work very closely with the universities. We having like two very reputed and pretty fairly famous professors running this, gives us the access to that, especially US university circle, India university circle, and China university circle. Some of these top people are working there. So all of the like-minded people who want to create a level playing field for everyone in the world in different forms. So we realize that with this kind of funding where like the AI model companies getting funded $1 billion in one single day, right? Like, at the day zero, the seed round is $1 billion, right? And with that, we can't compete with the crypto kind of race to build an open source model, right? So we realized that that is not possible. So we initially started with some sort of fine tuning and creating like the domain specific open source models and making them public. But then eventually we realized that our strength is being creating, and we are compounding on reasoning, and we want to make reasoning available. Just to understand reasoning, what is reasoning is that you can almost think of the model is like a very vague analogy, but the model is just like your CPU maybe combined with your RAM, right? Like all the weights you can assume that's the RAM. But your computer is not CPU and memory. Your computer also has a GPU. Your computer also has various different kind of circuitry with it, which actually makes it a computer. Similarly, if you want a business viable outcome, I'm being very careful in business viable outcome, not like a fancy outcome where AI writes a story for you or creates an image for you. If you want a business critical outcome from this, you need to have the model, and then on top of that you need to add reasoning. You can also apply to yourself, like when you think about it, like if I told you that Robbie, how will you post this video onto your channel, right? Your mind will immediately start thinking of steps that, okay, I will I will finish this, then there's the I will go to my video recorder, there will be this thing, the version of this, I'll go to YouTube, I'll upload at Twitter. Like, this is a whole planning that you did, right? So but then if you think, like meditate over deeply, you will realize that there are two parts of your thinking on this. Your one is there is an end goal function where that, okay, this is where I need to reach, and you will realize there is something in the background which is thinking that, okay, if I need to reach there, what is the first step, what is the second step, what is the third step, which is planning, right? So this part in the middle is actually something akin to reasoning, right? Like, you have a base computational brain, you have the brain, but that brain is actually thinking. And our brain, if you see, like with different regions of it, they have all of these different activities, different kind of contributions to it. So right now Sentient is razor focused on this reasoning part of the space, because we can't, because building the core brain, the CPU, requires billions of dollars to build. And so there are other people who are contributing in the open source world for that. We are contributing in how do we build the reasoning frameworks, which anybody can take any model and then can apply on top of it. So right now, like, there is an ecosystem team which is building a co-pilot for trading and these things, prediction markets and all that, by applying the reasoning on top of Claude code, right?
Okay.
So similar kind of things, like we will provide like this. You have the reasoning framework, take your whatever model you want to use, maybe an open source model, apply this reasoning, you get better results.
Makes sense.
Take it to enterprises and all that, and then you go to the arena. Like, now you have this reasoning agent, how do you make it better so that it can achieve 99.99% accuracy for business critical stuff?
Right. And you can have it compete against other agents that are also in the open source world that are reasoning, and you can figure out which one better, and then they can learn from one another. It makes complete sense. And it also generalizes Sentient to this reasoning framework, which is something that I heard you mention, that you can then apply to all the different agents. Look, even if I take it that even if you have a closed source model, you can still apply the reasoning framework on it. And that is when we can start to build and expand some of these models so that they have far reaching implications in agents, in like you said, Claude code and the entire AI world, so that we can really harness the depths of its power. But obviously we want, the entire stack to be open source so that we have full compatibility, full control over that, and it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Sandeep, before we wrap up, thank you. And very well built. You guys got to give you credit. You guys built this, and it's very forward thinking.
Looking for yield that stands out? InfiniFI gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. InfiniFI is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinify.xyz.
YEET is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Trade on anything: economics, weather, sports, crypto, and more. All on Kalshi.com 24/7 for the world's biggest prediction market.
Before we wrap up, I want to bring it full circle to the token economy, because the token for Sentient is out there. And, you also have Polygon that's out there. And so could you help bridge these two worlds in our mind? How should we think about the full token economy? You have the Polygon token world, you have the Sentient token world. Will these have any overlap? And if so, how can we think about value accrual when we have the payment blockchain world on Polygon and we have the open source AI world on Sentient?
Yeah. See, definitely there are overlaps. As I said, that the crypto is just a rails for AI.
Mhm.
So when Sentient actually launches the right now there is like a lot of tidbits of these open source reasoning and everything available. But now we are launching the Sentient Arena. Then Sentient Arena will have these staking, things, payment related thing. You pay for the data that is being generated after those arenas have concluded and all that. So that will be the revenue model in some sense for the Sentient economy, and that will be built using wherever Polygon rails can be used. They will be used they'll be used there. And then Sentient was already prepping up for launching a chain built on the Polygon ag layer itself. And as the arena and all more transactions come, and when the need be, then they will launch. Like, it's not like launching the chain for the sake of launching a chain. So when the transactions achieve a certain level of threshold, then Sentient is expected to launch that chain. And the other part is like, otherwise these economies are fairly acting at different levels. Like Polygon is purely acting at the transaction provisioning block space level. Sentient is more of an app protocol. Think about like Ethereum and Uniswap or Aave, right? Like, so Polygon is basically the base underlying rails, and Sentient is one kind of app that is being built on top of it. And whereas Sentient's token economy is also like, with this arena, finally it becomes even more clearer that anybody can come and participate in these competitions and all that, and whatever data gets generated, either they pay to the protocol, and that exactness into the model has to be done. But once the arena goes live somewhere February mid time frame or end of February, at that time, like, once the whatever data gets generated, either you get access to data by staking a certain amount of the Sent tokens and be a participant in the economy, or you pay a fixed price and then buy that data and buy the license for the data and do that. So that is the Sentient simple economy.
Yeah.
And then those tokens and all that, like whoever are contributing open source participants and all that, they get rewarded in the Sent tokens. Hopefully enough amount of data gets created that more and more enterprises want to come and stake and then get access to the data.
Yeah. And ultimately providing this value for this entire economy, this entire ecosystem, provides a lot of value. And then there's a lot of stake in
absolutely. And not only in the crypto ecosystem, by the way, like this will be available to everybody, every AI company. Literally banks are now getting onboarded to it as we speak, that there is a like a large, probably $100 billion asset in management and all that, like bank, which is right now testing some of these things and all that. So as these things proceed, Sentient team is going to talk more about these things.
Incredible. Sandeep, always appreciate you joining us. And you've been really busy, man. You've been Sentient, Polygon, making moves all across the map. What's up next? What do you
It's been 8 to 10 years in crypto. Like, there is nothing, like, that's the thing, like, with crypto, I think for me, having both Polygon and Sentient like fully stand on their feet, because crypto, like I have seen the crypto crazy cycles like with Polygon and all that. What I really yearn to build is these self-sustaining multi-decade companies. That is what inspires me to do. Like, so I am more focused on systems thinking, strategic moves, and creating an environment where these entities can build sustainably over time, not like a flash in the pan, 2 years your token pumps like this thing, and after that you are like nowhere to be seen. That is my biggest fear, basically, that oblivion of my companies that are building in the space. I hope that they stand the test of time and become a part of the fabric of crypto.
The walk away test, right? That's what Vitalik calls the walk away. And man, you're not going away anytime soon. Continuing to build, Sandeep, absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining. Always a pleasure, man. And
Thanks, Rob.
best of luck with Sentient token launch.
Thank you so
Cheers,
much.
brother.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.